The Propcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Nick Fantasy. The brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5, get $100 bonus funds. Use promo code SGPN. And welcome, everybody, to the Propcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It's currently Friday morning, October 3rd, around 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm Rosenberg, once again joined by the Rosenberg together for break down our favorite props for NFL Week 5. I know that we had a good episode last time out. Going to try to keep it rolling here for Week 5. We already had a game in the books. Pretty crazy game yesterday between the Niners and the Rams. Adam, how's it going with you? What's up?
Crushing, dude. I think I was 1-2 in the last week. I don't know. I just know that we've been doing really well.
I know I went 3-0, so we alternated.
Yeah, so it works out. We hit the underdog though, so it didn't matter.
Yeah,
that's all. Yeah, we finished up. It was great. So, no, I'm good. I'm stoked for them. I'm ready to do this. So.
Yep, definitely looking forward to the games. Do want to ask you though before we officially get started for our props for Week 5. Any thoughts on the game last night?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like you and I were on Niners Island. I texted this to Kramer and Sean. I don't know why their gambling radars didn't go off when here's the reality is nobody is worth generally a lot of points to spread. And everybody who was ruled out, it was like an 8-point move on Ricky Pearsall, who's done nothing this year. Juwan Jennings, who's played 2 games and done nothing this year. Brock Purdy, who leads the league in interceptions. So what was the line move for? I don't know. It felt like a massive get-up spot for Shanahan. Like these are coaches that have played each other 15 times, and everybody was just shipping the Rams. And you and I are going to, by the way, we're sending these to you as a topic for the show later today for Dad's Bet Baseball and Football. But, we're at a part in the season where your gambling antennas should go off. And if a line moves like crazy one way, like Ravens game is a good example. I don't know, man. Maybe not always steam chase.
I think it was also an extreme case because it was a short week for a massive division rivalry. So
it's a massive division, not only a massive division rivalry, but 2 coaches who coached together on the same coaching tree.
Yeah, they know each other very well.
Very well.
The Rams at no point were ever covering, so they were never close to actually covering the spread. As for the money line, that's a bit of a heartbreaker. With Kyron, who fumbled with the 1, he had the 4th and 1 play in overtime. A little bit of a brutal job there by McVay.
They missed field goal. They missed field goals.
The extra point got blocked.
Yeah, they
no-showed the first quarter and a half.
Like when Corum fumbled early, then he was done for the game because they weren't going to give him the ball back. So I get it, Niners. But here's another thing, and I think that you and I should play this. You know how you and I used to play punt, and you and I discussed the other week that scripted has been really good.
Yeah,
I think that we should this week. And we could do this in our platonic segment. Let's find 2 games where you and I would normally go punt, and go TD.
Okay. We can do that.
We're seeing scripted is killing it right now.
Yeah.
It's worth a try.
I was thinking TD or maybe even field goal because with the kickoffs now, one team's going to be, they're both going to be starting like
sure, or we could do will score on first try. Like we could do that. Whatever it is. I mean, I think there's a lot of ways to do it, but I'm seeing a lot of TD. I'm seeing a lot where you and I would normally get a punt, and we're like, oh, this is a bonkers number.
I do want to point out though that for the baseball playoffs, to segue quickly, we've seen a lot of dead balls, which is why a lot of these home run balls, like Stanton's yesterday, turned out to not be home runs; they were doubles. These kickoff balls, by the way,
it's also 50. It's also 59.
That too, but I'm just saying we've seen a lot of fly balls that seem to be hit well die. These kickoff balls that the NFL are using, or these overall kicking balls in general, are juiced to hell. Because how the hell does Pinheiro make a 59-yarder with a couple yards?
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're saying, but it doesn't matter to cash for us.
No, that's my point, is that the field goals are definitely live this year because it does feel like there's something up with the actual kicking balls this year.
Oh, I see Captain Sano with a good one.
That's the Sunday night game.
I know.
For the Bills pass.
So
there you go. Anyway, wanted to mention the juice ball thing, though, because the kicking has been kind of outrageous this season. We saw McLaughlin make a 60-plus yarder. I didn't know he had that in his card. In his bag, so keep an eye out. I
mean, our boy McLaughlin hit a 65-yarder.
I just said that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah,
that's my point though. Is that a lot of these kicking balls have been juiced to hell. So long as field goal options, the kickoffs themselves, you need basically 2 completions to be in field goal range now. So maybe instead of punt, maybe some field goals actually make some sense. I'm moving forward in that market. But either way, once again, I had a sweep. We won underdog, so I'll try to keep it rolling here in Week 5. Anyway, before we get into the actual props that we have for week 5, a reminder they do have a nice app in the App Store, SGPN app, and you can find all of our free picks and podcasts there. Free to download the app, so instead of having to dive through all the YouTube channels for different shows in the network, find all of our podcasts in one easy location, by going to the SGPN app, free to download in the App Store. So, moving on to NFL Week 5. Now, I am going to ask you, Adam, to go first as always. What is going to be your first player prop for week 5?
All right, so let me take a look at what I got here. All right, so I am going to go to my own Eagles game, the Eagles against the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos were supposed to have a quote-unquote sleepy spot, and the only team that was asleep in that game was
the Bengals offense.
The Bengals offense. So we're going to take 2 plays here. All right. We are going to take, it's a sprinkle. So basically, any guy who we like a lot, I think we should generally agree we're going to take their TD too, right?
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. Dobbins' rushing line is super low. It's 51.5 yards, J.K. Dobbins. And while I love my Eagles, they are 22nd in the league in opposing rushing yards. They have the 7th worst yards per carry. 7 of 9 running backs have gone over their number against them. They're kind of getting shredded on the ground. They're not moving a lot on the ground. Their adjusted line yards are on the opposite side, things that I don't like. So I'm going to go with Dobbins over 51.5 rushing yards against the Eagles. This is a team that's coming in as a relatively short dog. We took 4.
I saw some 3.5s out there.
Yeah, 3.5s, which lends itself towards probably if you have, I think that they'll get the lead, or I think that they're going to be trying to go for some field goal position and things like that. Eagles have not been as susceptible on the pass as they have been on the run. Bucky Irving banged up all the way, still got us to the number that we wanted last week. So let's do this. We're going to go with J.K. Dobbins over 51.5 rushing yards. There's a lot of reasons I like Denver in this game. Nick Sirianni 1-5 ATS in look-ahead games to divisional Giants games. I think the Eagles are 0-10 in their last 10 games after they play Tampa Bay. So you want
I like the under in the game, so I think we're seeing a similar script.
Yeah, I mean it's the weather's supposed to be gorgeous, so I think Bo Nix may pass on this. But that being said, this Dobbins number seems really low for a dude who is off 101 yards. He has so far this season 63, 76, 83, 101. And now we got 51. So let's do this.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty competitive game throughout, but I do think it's a good spot for Denver in general. And we know Denver's defense is nasty. So if you're going to see a close game, physical, you might see Dobbins get there on volume. Bucky wasn't as effective as we thought it was going to be. Turns out he was injured, but he still went over his rushing line against this team. So I can get behind that. I think it's a good spot to potentially cash in again on what has been an overvalued Philly run defense again in week 5. So moving on to my first play. I'm going to warn you in advance. I got pretty degen with the actual plays this week. So initially, I was going to go to Calvin Ridley in that Titans game. However, he hasn't practiced the last couple days, and there's a chance he's not going to play. So instead, I'm going to pivot because what can possibly go wrong with backing a Titans wide receiver when this team stinks? I'm going to take Io Matter. I'm going to go with his over 38.5 receiving yards at minus 118. He's had at least 44 yards in 2 of the last 3 games. He had 38 exactly against the Colts. Cardinals, though, not great at protecting against the pass, as they are allowing the 8th most receiving yards to opposing wide receivers per game in the league. And Ridley is missing multiple practices, might not play. Even with Ridley playing, Io Matter has been arguably Cam Ward's favorite target.
Ridley's basically done with the team.
I was going to say, but the point is, Io Matter has been his favorite target so far. He's had at least 6 targets in 3 of the first 4 games of the season. 38.5, I think, is a pretty low number for a guy that can be a big play receiver, and I do think he might get volume anyway. That was with Ridley actually playing. So I think Ridley's going to sit personally. We'll see what happens. But Io Matter, I think, is in a good spot. If the Titans get buried, good. You have garbage time. Not really sweating it at all. But Arizona's pass defense we saw against Darnold on Thursday night, not very good. So I do think you're in a good spot to potentially fade this pass defense. It's in a dome as well, so weather's not a factor. Give me Io Matter over 38.5 receiving yards at minus 118.
Yeah, the laddie daddy CJ is on this as well. So I like that a lot.
Okay, there you go. So once again, keep an eye out for Ridley.
I want to call out, sorry, Insano. Captain Insano is asking about the Harvey Rush line. The Harvey Rush line is pretty low. I like them both, but I like.
Do they use him to run that much, or is more
they use him to receive? And I like that as I like that for an underdog entry.
Yeah, because I know Harvey had a good receiving game on Monday.
I would really like. I'd like to 12.5 for the receiving line. I kind of love that.
Yeah, I see IG asking about Baker Mayfield longest completion under on the road. I know you had this a couple weeks ago against the Jets. Any thoughts on this play in Seattle?
I don't. I mean, I like Seattle big in this game, so I'm not. I mean, I like it. It may not be a play for me. I think it's a sound play. I think it's fine. But Seattle's got the best defense in the league right now, so I'm
the only concern is I'd wait for the injury report because Witherspoon might not play. They have a couple injuries that you might have to look out for.
I'm not really a big Witherspoon guy.
Yeah, but still, the point is depth chart wise, it would be a pretty big loss for that team, even if you're not as high on Witherspoon as other people. But wanted to mention that. Joe, it's a trick question. Is he a real player? Yes, but he's on the Titans, so 50-50. But you might remember him as the guy from Stanford who torched Travis Hunter that one time in that crazy comeback win in college. But yeah, give me Io Manor over 38.5 receiving yards as my first play for the show. Moving on to your second prop, Adam. What do you like?
I'm going to go. All right. So guess who is returning this week? First of all, there's a very disgusting team in Carolina called the Carolina Panthers.
Yes, there is.
While we have been focused on Ted McMillan, we've been focused on Ted. He's awesome.
I love McMillan.
That dude's great. We gave him out at 8-1 for Offensive Rookie of the Year on my pod, and now it's great.
I was there for that.
And so look, he's back. Xavier Legette. He had 8 targets in week 2, 7 targets in the first week of the season. I know that Ted has emerged, but this Dolphins defense stinks. They're 31st in passing DVOA, and Xavier Legette for 30 yards is plus 120, 124. They the Dolphins get cooked on the right side of the field. People are asking, like, how do you know that? Well, I go through PFF game logs and I look at things and I can see it.
The Dolphins defense, despite Justin Fields not being able to throw a football, they're a really bad defense.
Very different situation, too.
No, correct. My point is, though, if you just only go with the Monday night game, it kind of hit it a little bit. This Dolphins defense is terrible.
He still threw for over 200 yards.
Yeah, he did. I mean, a lot of it was towards the end, but yeah.
No, it wasn't, though. I looked. It had the one pass. Like he had 175. He still hit his pass line before that. Was that one?
I just remember the one drive he had for the touchdown.
Totally, but also just say, like, he didn't throw all over them. Like, that's a
no, not at all. The point is they were afraid to let him throw the entire first half. But in general, the Dolphins defense is not very good.
Right. So anyway, but giving Xavier Legette 30 yards is really low for a guy that we saw getting 15
a bunch of
targets over 2 games. Yeah. So let's do it. I also like Carolina in this game. I like Carolina defensive TD. But we'll talk about that a little later. So yeah, give me Xavier Legette 30 receiving yards at plus 124.
Well, touch upon Carolina for a second. I believe they played one home game and they won 30-0. Every other game's been on the road, I believe, up to this point. So pretty good spot for them. Miami beat the Jets. Congratulations. Thought they didn't look good in the process, and now Tyreek's dead.
And they're what? Only 1-point favorites on the road to Carolina. Kind of the line is sort of speaking volumes there.
I agree. So I like Carolina too in the game, and I like Seattle too.
I see Insano talking about Chuba being out. Yeah, I mean, like, sure. I'm not a big Chuba guy. I kind of think that they kind of got stuck with a guy who was better than what they had because they had Miles Sanders and some stuff. That's fine.
Chuba had some moments a year or two ago, but I've never really been.
Yeah, I've never been a Chuba guy. And I'm not a Rico Dowdle guy. I just this just feels like if you're going to take advantage of all the crap that Miami has or whatever, Miami is not a good team, and they're especially not a great team on the road. So I'll let them scheme up some things and throw on Bryce Young.
Yeah. Moving on, before we get into my second player prop for week 5, a reminder, they're brought to you by our sponsor, Bookie.ag. Who's Bookie?
My bookie.
So using to bet on football, they have baseball for the playoffs. They have, of course, college football. Use the prop builder, second to none. Promote simple. Bet anything, anywhere, anytime. Use crypto for deposits and payouts. You can sign up for a new account. Use code SGPN for a special 100% bet bonus $100. Customers, look at the promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Novig, which is America's #1 sports futures market and Cincinnati Exchange. You're getting some great prices available in the market by comparison to sports books. It's available in a bunch of states, 35 plus to be exact. And a reminder, download the Novig app, $50 when you spend just $5. If you use the promo code SGPN, get on the actual Novig, promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the Propcast here for Week 5 of the NFL season. We went through the first couple props that we have for Week 5. Time to move on into my second prop for the NFL card. I'm going to go to a DGen play that I gave out on this show actually a couple weeks ago in the Platonic section, and it cashed. Give me Dalton Kincaid, first quarter, over 3.5 receiving yards at minus 114. Very low number. He's had at least 5 receiving yards in the first quarter in 10 of his last 11 games. In New England, really, really bad against tight ends. New England is allowing the 7th most receiving yards per game to opposing tight ends in the league. Kincaid, we know, is very involved in what Buffalo wants to do, especially early. 1 catch, and you're probably good in the first quarter. Good enough for me. Once again, over in 10 of the last 11. New England's not great at guarding the tight end. I see a good spot for Kincaid. Give me Kincaid first quarter receiving yards over 3.5 at minus 114. I warned all of you I was going to get pretty degen with these 3 plays. So give me the play that I gave out on Platonic a couple weeks ago, but I like Kincaid early in this game. Thoughts?
Like it.
Yeah, there you go. 1 catch.
Those are always island games I always keep separate.
Yeah.
Like that. Yep. Nope. They use Kincaid's having a great start. So
he's had a great first quarter run. So we saw him go over and he had a touchdown a couple weeks ago.
He's good. While you were looking at that, I was peeking at NFL Drive stats.
Okay.
And I know you like the under and on the Philly-Denver game, and both of them are tops in the amount of punts that they're doing. The one reason I'm not racing to take that is because
the weather was great.
Well, it's also because the long snapper is out for the Eagles, and that is going to have a direct impact on field position.
Yeah.
Actually, we should take Lutz field goals.
I can get behind that. That's fine.
Because so for those of you who know what a long snapper does, it's the guy who usually is on a team for like a decade. They don't teams don't switch long snappers because that's not something you want to fuck with.
Unless they're really bad at their job.
Yeah, which is very rare.
Yeah.
They are critical for punts for all sorts of special teams. Eagles has a core muscle injury, so he's out for the season. They have a new person. I was already not very high on Braden Mann as their punter. This kind of changes field position stuff for me. So
as a Jets fan, I was never high on Braden Mann, so that's fine.
Yeah, so we got to do that. I think we do that. In fact, I'm sending a note to Kramer. Also, I'm sending a note to Kramer right now. Also, we want Denver safety and TD because of the long snapper situation. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
that was a note to myself. I used to send notes to Sean, but like Sean never pushes back on me on homer plays, and Kramer always pushes back on me on homer plays.
When I'm awake, I'll push back if you want me to push back. So it's fine.
You do push back, but I usually have been winning.
No, I'm usually sleeping.
You only push back when we're like 2 months, 6 weeks ago when we were like bleeding out, and you were like, "Hey man, maybe like take a couple minus 120s instead of everything being plus 200."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
worked out. So we'll see what happens.
We cooked this week though.
Yeah, we did. So definitely good start to October, good end to September. We'll try to keep it going here. I do want to ask you though what you are going to go with for your final prop for Week 5.
Okay, so my final prop for Week 5 is going to be going with Isaiah Bond, the rookie, under 28.5 receiving yards, plus 102. He had a monster catch last game. He's getting talked about a lot. And he had 58 yards last week, of which I believe a lot of it came on 35 of it came on 1 catch. So I'm going to sell. Look, I'm going to sell high on a team that has a rookie making their first start, not only on the road but in Europe. And
it's in a dome, right?
No, I think it's a Tottenham.
So it's not a dome. Okay.
No. So and not only that, but you know why I know it's not in the dome? Because the total's 35.
I was just checking because there are different, football stadiums.
They do that in Germany because it's easier.
That's why I was asking.
It's easier for them to organize people and put them on a train and do those kind of things. Happy Yom Kippur. So the other thing is that I'd like to. I mean, if you're not as into this, let me just see the yardage. So here's the deal. The Vikings have only had total of 3 receivers, period, who have gone over their receiving line. And they have had 3 that have actually gone, and they've all gone over like a 28.5. But the reality is that no one throws on the Vikings pretty well. And I'm not going to take it with a rookie. I'm not going to take it with a rookie to a rookie. Taking the under on Isaiah Bond.
All right, I can get behind that. So what was the number on that again?
Plus 102.
Yeah, so not bad. Moving on to my final play, I have to go with the kicking prop because it's been good to me, and it's my D-Gen thing. Cowboys taking on the Jets. Now, the Jets' defense is horrible. Take a ton of penalties. Cowboys had the crazy tie against the Packers, but I am going to go with Aubrey. Extra points. I'm going to go with the over 2.5 extra points at around plus 125. The math really isn't mathing for the price on this play. Because Aubrey, first of all, has been good lately. He's made at least 4 extra points in 2 of the last 3 games. Jets, though, are allowing 30 points per game, tied for 4th most in the league. But the Cowboys' team total for this game is set at 23.5, and the over's minus 138. So if you do the math, that means that if the Cowboys only score 2 touchdowns, you need 4 field goals from Aubrey to go over this number. If not, then they need to score 3 touchdowns. And instead of getting minus 138 for a team total, I'm getting plus 125. So I got to go Aubrey extra points here. The math doesn't make any sense. For that team total of 23.5, I saw 24.5 at like minus 102, a reasonable price. You still need 3 touchdowns to actually cash that team total, and it's juiced. So give me Aubrey over 2.5 extra points at plus 125. The math just isn't mathing on that play.
No, this is what we've been taking a lot of special teams props based. A lot of times, the guy we've been seeing the similar thing is 6.5 points is minus 120, but over 1.5 field goals is even money. Which again, math doesn't math.
Yeah, so I'm going to take that, and we know Aubrey is a great kicker, best kicker in the league, and it's plus 125 against his bad defense. So give me Aubrey over 2.5 extra points. I'll back this Cowboys offense against this crappy defense at plus 125. So that's my last play for the card. Time to move on to the miscellaneous section. Anything you want to mention for bonus bets?
Yeah. Okay. So let's look up what a safety is for the Broncos, because we just sort of capped it.
Well, the truth is, if you wanted to do it that way, we don't even really need the Broncos game by itself. If you're trying to tail, some books might not have that. You can probably
safety,
just go for
every builder has safety. Everybody has safety.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if they have specific team safeties. They might just have game safety.
Okay. Well,
either way,
that's fine. But let me just look. I just want to see what it is. Well, you know what we liked? The miscellaneous we liked. Let me see. Lutz 2 field goals is minus 105.
I like the price.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Okay, so let's do that. And we agree the cap is, we think field position is going to be easier, that even if the Eagles are able to do relatively well, we both agree that a new long snapper combined with a punter that we're met on is going to create.
They also intentionally took a safety last week. So clearly it's also a strategy move by them in a close game. They will take a safety if they need to.
Wait, we're talking about different things.
No, the Eagles took a safety last week.
Right, but I thought that we landed on Lutz. Oh, you're talking about both plays.
The safety thing. Yeah, both plays.
Yeah, but no, minus 105 is the Will Lutz one.
Yes, I know. I'm just saying an all-encompassing like field goal hand.
Broncos to score a safety is 25-1. We're taking this.
Yeah, I was just saying an all-encompassing special teams collection of plays in that game. But I like Lutz. I mean, I mentioned it before. I don't like the kickoff rules, mainly because now you basically need 2 completions to get into field goal range, which I think is just stupid. But it's a lot easier to actually get into field goal range now, because a lot of teams are starting at the 30. So something to keep in mind. But I like the Lutz field goals there. 25-1 on safety, I like to. That's
25-1 is a great price on a safety.
So anything else?
Nope.
No random other miscellaneous stuff?
No, I'll throw some stuff out. I know you got WNBA in 30 minutes. And
Thoughts on Dylan Gabriel in making his first start?
I agree with Joe. I think he's probably going to move. So the concern to me is the reading of the blitzes, because no rookie is going to be ready to do that against Flores.
So I wasn't sure if you wanted like a Vikings defensive touchdown or something.
I do. Actually, Kramer and I have hold on, he just texted me. would you? He says it's a bad price.
For the safety or for the field goals?
Safety price. I don't agree.
But all I know is we saw what this Vikings defense did against Jake Browning, and that worked out pretty well because they had a touchdown, and I think that could be a good spot for the Vikings to do it again. So we'll see what happens. I actually watched Gabriel play in person. It was garbage time against the Ravens, and he actually looked pretty good. But the point is, that was garbage time means nothing. Against Flores in your first start in a different country, that's a pretty bad spot. It wouldn't shock me if the Vikings had a golden opportunity for a defensive touchdown in this game. So I'll mention that.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, he is a Grizzly veteran. That actually, I like Dylan Gabriel's ceiling because of that, because I like older quarterbacks. But what
long term, I'm fine with that.
So you want to have something degen? I like Dylan Gabriel early, and then I think I like, because we saw this with Caleb Williams against Brian Flores, is that he waited till the second half of that Monday night game to throw all the blitzes, and that's what confused him. That's possible here. Is like a Dylan Gabriel over first half yards.
It's like a bait and switch kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that works too. But what an ugly game, by the way. Carson Wentz against Dylan Gabriel. So we'll see what happens. It's at 9:30, so you can sleep through it if you want to. But yeah, I don't mind Gabriel throwing a pick or two, which could result in a touchdown. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for all of our props for Week 5. Time to move on into our best bets and the underdog entry. Before we get into both of those things, a reminder they're brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Great place to play fantasy pick'em. You win 500 times your entry. The higher or lower on your favorite player stats. Available for a ton of different sports as well. Use the new offer for new customers. Play just $5, get $100 bonus funds. Use promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Off to a great start in college football and NFL. They have a new leaderboard system with cash prize every week just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of any type from the same model or from any model that you build, and you can win $1K. And a reminder, we have a promo code with Rhythm for a discount. Use code SGPN25. We can download the Rhythm app for a quarter off first month. Down Rhythm. Once again, promo code SGPN25. Welcome back, everyone, to the Propcast here for Week 5 of the NFL season. Time to move on into our best bets for the show. Adam, what is your best bet out of the 3 props you gave out?
I like the under on this Bond play. Okay. It's hard for me to see a rookie coming big on against this defense. Let's do that.
Yeah, so for my best bet, I'm going to go with the early play. Give me the Kincaid first quarter over 3.5 receiving yards at -114. He's had at least 5 and 10 of his last 11, and the Patriots are not good at guarding tight ends. I see a good matchup there. One catch probably gets it. Give me Kincaid first quarter receiving yards over 3.5 at -114. Moving on to underdog. Anything you want to start with for this one?
Yeah. What did we mention? We mentioned we mentioned another one earlier. Now I forget.
Well, do you want to use Lutz field goals for this or no?
Yeah, I'm also. I also want to be on that. I think I want to be on that. Sure. I took the Lutz field goals.
Do you like the Aubrey extra point angle, or do you think that's
no?
Cute?
I don't. Not enough to put in here.
That's fine. Okay.
Because I like the Jets in this game.
Okay.
A lot. So
I think the Jets might win too, but
yeah. So it's a sort of. It's not.
It's a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
I get it.
Do
you like Io Manor in this one?
Yeah, I could get into that.
Okay, so I'll do Io Manor.
What's there's Io. What do you want? You want? Let's do the higher receiving.
Yeah, that's fine.
I had said something, guys. What was the one that I had said earlier? It was the longest reception one, didn't
I? We mentioned Harvey receiving yards.
Oh, that's right. Good call.
Which I like. Yeah. That wasn't the longest, but I think that's what you're referring to.
No. That's what I was referring to. Okay, cool. I got it. This is a good one. RJ Harvey, higher 13.5 receiving yards. Will Lutz, higher 1.5 field goals. Io Manor, higher 36.5 receiving yards. Payout of allegedly 6.16.
Good price for now.
I like it.
So, all right. There you go. We'll once again see what it actually turns out to.
Let's we should go through our bets.
Yes. I was going to ask you, Adam, to repeat your favorite props once again for Week 5.
Xavier Legette, higher, like 30 plus rushing yards. I know it's higher than his regular number.
Receiving yards, close enough.
Receiving yards, sorry about that. J.K. Dobbins, higher rushing yards, 51.5. And then Isaiah Bond under his 28.5 receiving yards.
Okay, so just for the sake of potential clip aggregation, can you just repeat the 3?
Yeah. For the clip aggregation, sorry.
Yeah.
Clip aggregation, Isaiah Bond under 28.5 receiving yards. J.K. Dobbins higher 51.5 rushing yards, and then Xavier Legette higher 30 receiving yards.
There you go. For my 3 plays, I'm going to go with Io Manor over 38.5 receiving yards at -118. Dalton Kincaid first quarter over 3.5 receiving yards at -114. Brandon Aubrey over 2.5 extra points at +125. That's going to wrap it up for the show. We're back once again for baseball, of course, over the next couple of days. NFL, we're back once again next week for week 6. Until then, find me on Twitter as Radio. Find him on Twitter at Rosenberg. And until next time, good luck to all of you and all of